because most of them may not be having the idea of the preamble. So they may keep the
जी
preamble of the constitution before them. I
मैं
am
सभी स्टूडेंट्स से एक रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहती हूँ कि आज का जो हमारा टॉपिक है बिकॉज इट इज बेस्ड ऑन प्रियम्बल ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, तो आप अपनी क्लैरिटी के लिए, क्योंकि सर बहुत सिंपल टर्म्स में आपको आज एक बड़ी अच्छी चीज समझाएंगे, तो एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का बेयर एक्ट अपना लेकर बैठे, और अगर वो पॉसिबल नहीं हो तो अपने सिस्टम्स में या अपने फोन में कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का बेयर एक्ट खोलकर बैठिए आप लोग।
नहीं
ठीक
तो
है।
मोबाइल मोबाइल पे खाली प्रियम्बल भी
जी
डाउनलोड
जी
कर सकते हैं.
जी सर। जी
ओनली
ओके।
प्रियम्बल कैन बी डाउनलोडेड.
ओके सर। आप लोग अपना प्रियम्बल ओपन कर कर बैठिए, चाहे फोन में चाहे अपनी बेयर एक्ट्स में, क्योंकि आज का जो डिस्कशन है इट इज बेस्ड ऑन बेसिकली प्रियम्बल। ओके मैम, यू मे स्टार्ट, वी आर गुड टू गो।
Okay. Very good afternoon to everyone.
काइंडली कीप योर माइक्रोफोन्स ऑफ, इट्स अ सिंसियर रिक्वेस्ट, प्लीज अपने माइक्रोफोन्स ऑफ म्यूट पर कर लीजिए सब लोग। थैंक यू। यस।
Uh, very good afternoon to everyone. I am Dr. Smita Srivastav, Assistant Professor, Atal Bihari Vajpayee Institute of Legal Studies, Chhatrapati Shahu Ji Maharaj Kanpur University. On the occasion of National Voters Day, Atal Bihari Vajpayee Institute of Legal Studies is organizing a webinar on right to vote in the context of preamble of the Indian Constitution. On behalf of Department of Law, I extend warm welcome and thanks to all the participants. Voting right is the most important part of the electoral system. This is one of the basic political rights of the citizens. By voting, people can choose their representative in the government. The spirit of the democracy is ensured by means of voting. Article 326 of the Indian Constitution grants the right to vote to all of its citizens who are above the age of 18 years. The participants better insights on the right to vote in India in constitutional perspective. First of all, I welcome the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the CSJM University, Professor Vinay Kumar Pathak. Though due to some urgent meeting, he is not able to join the webinar. I also welcome the Director, Atal Bihari Vajpayee Institute of Legal Studies, Chhatrapati Shahu Ji Maharaj University, the Dr. Shashikant Tripathi, sir. Today, as a guest and resource person, we have amongst us Professor Satya Prakash, former Dean, Faculty of Law, Chaudhry Charan Singh University. Sir was also the former Dean of NAS PG College, Meerut. Sir has more than 40 years of teaching experience. In LLM, Sir was the gold medalist of the Meerut University. He is very dynamic person. In the field of research, he has a lot of contribution. Sir has various publications in edited books and journal. Sir is visiting professor in several universities, colleges, and institutions in India. He is also the advisor in various educational institutions. On behalf of Department of Law, I welcome you, sir. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Pankaj Dwivedi, sir, to welcome our distinguished guest. Over to you, sir.
Okay, madam, thank you. Good afternoon to all of you. Respected keynote speaker, Professor Satya Prakash, sir, former Dean, Faculty of Law, CSJM University, Meerut. Patron of this event, Professor Vinay Kumar Pathak, Vice Chancellor, Chhatrapati Shahu Ji Maharaj University, Kanpur. Dr. Shashikant Tripathi, Associate Professor and Director of Atal Bihari Vajpayee School of Legal Studies, Kanpur University. Faculty members, students, and brothers and sisters. On behalf of Atal Bihari Vajpayee School of Legal Studies, I welcome to all of you, especially our keynote speaker, Professor Satya Prakash sir. Today, we are organizing a webinar on the topic of right to vote in the context of preamble of the Indian Constitution. You know, dear students, everything is mentioned in a preamble In first line of the preamble, we the people of India. We, it means हम भारत के लोग. All the democratic systems is originated from the preamble of the Constitution of the India. That is a one word we. Also related to right to vote. Sir is the expert of the constitutions. Our keynote speaker is very renowned and learned personalities. But right now I would like to discuss related from the right to vote in very few minutes. That is one of the provisions mentioned in electoral process. You know the nota. Nota means none of the above. This is the short form of the none of the above. This is nota. Actually, with the idea of the nota, ballot option originated in 1976 from USA. After that, in India, that is the one of the PIL filed by the one NGO, the People's Union for Civil Liberties versus Union of India in 2019. The verdict came in 2013 and nota was implemented. Dear students, जो प्रोसीजर्स है इलेक्टोरल प्रोसेस का टाइम टू टाइम चेंज होता रहा है, आपने देखा होगा. हम बात कर रहे हैं, ये प्रेम्बल से जुड़ा हुआ है. आई इंडिविजुअली हम वोट करते हैं और राइट टू वोट आपके इस राइट को इस ओर ले जाता है कि आप अपने कंट्री को कहाँ ले जाना चाहते हैं, उसका फ्यूचर क्या होगा, उसकी एजुकेशन पॉलिसीज क्या होगी, उसकी नेशनल एंड इंटरनेशनल पॉलिसीज गवर्नमेंट की क्या होगी. ये दैट इज डिपेंड्स अपॉन योर वोट. ये वोटर्स डे जो सेलिब्रेट हो रहा है फर्स्ट टाइम 2011 से ये स्टार्ट हुआ है और द इंफॉर्मेशन मिनिस्टर वाज अंबिका सोनी. उन्होंने इसको इंट्रोड्यूस किया था और उसके पीछे ऑब्जेक्ट था जो यंग वोटर्स है फर्स्ट टाइम जो हु हैज अटेन्ड द एज ऑफ 18 फर्स्ट वोटर्स, वो क्या राइट टू वोट का यूज कर रहा है. बिकॉज राइट एंड ड्यूटीज बोथ आर रिलेटेड विथ ईच अदर. दैट इज द टू साइड्स ऑफ द सेम कॉइन, वन कॉइन, राइट एंड ड्यूटीज. दिस इज योर राइट. And in the context of the PIL, People's Union for Civil Liberties versus Union of India, actually that was the depend upon the Article 21 and Article 19. Article 21, right to life, that is one part, and second part, the right to liberty. This PIL is related from the right to liberty. I say the Article 19 of the Indian Constitution, right to speech and expression, and your rights of vote is related from the right to expression. How to express your views in a democratic systems. तो इंडिया एक डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री है और डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री में राइट टू वोट यह आपको अधिकार इस बात के लिए देता है कि आपका फ्यूचर कैसा होगा, आपकी इंडिया या आपकी कंट्री कैसी होगी. हम बात कर रहे थे नोटा के प्रोविजंस की. तो अगर आप विश्व के लेवल पर देखेंगे तो हर जगह बहुत सारे देशों में नोटा का प्रोविजंस हैं, लेकिन अभी अभी ये जो बहुत सारे इम्प्लीकेशंस, बहुत सारे कॉम्प्लेक्सेस, बहुत सारे उसमें से प्रॉब्लम्स वोटर्स ने हमेशा रेज की है. आपने देखा होगा कि 2019 और 2019 के पहले के ट्रेंड ये कंटिन्यूसली चेंज होते रहे हैं और एक प्रेजेंट सिचुएशन 2019 में ये आई है वी पैट। आपने देखा होगा कि जब आप वोट देने जाते हैं तो आपने वोट किसको दिया है, यह जब वोटर्स की कंप्लेंट आई थी तो उसके लिए इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया ने वी पैट का एक प्रोविजन बनाया जो 2019 से इम्प्लीमेंटेड है। वी पैट का फुल फॉर्म है वोटर वेरीफाइड पेपर ऑडिट ट्रेल। अभी मार्च में एक 2020 में 21 का एक डिसीजन दैट इज पेंडिंग वन ऑफ द PIL बिफोर द सुप्रीम कोर्ट, उसमें से इसके बारे में से कि भाई वी पैट का सिर्फ ये है कि अभी वो आता है हमारे सामने जो वोटर्स के सामने और फिर वो खत्म हो जाता है। हमकी उसको स्लिप उसकी हमको मिलनी चाहिए, क्योंकि वहां भी एक एम्बिग्यूटी है, एक प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट हो रही है कि भाई वो तो जैसे कि कई पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज भी उसके बारे में देती हैं। तो इस प्रकार से टाइम टू टाइम वोटर्स के राइट को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए गवर्नमेंट, जुडिशरी as well as the election commission of the India always try to remove your problems। क्यों? इसके पीछे का रीजन यही है कि राइट टू वोट इज वन ऑफ द इम्पॉर्टेंट राइट ऑफ वोटर्स। किसी भी डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री के लिए राइट टू वोट एक इम्पॉर्टेंट राइट्स है, और यह जो वोटर्स डे मनाया जा रहा है उसका ऑब्जेक्टिव भी यही है कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों तक आपके राइट्स की जानकारी हो, लेकिन राइट्स के साथ साथ ड्यूटीज भी, क्योंकि इसका ऑब्जेक्ट भी यही है। जब 2011 में इसका ऑब्जेक्ट है द कंट्री टू मार्क द फाउंडेशन, the main objective behind the webinar to the encourage, facilitate and maximize the enrollment, especially for new voters. That was the objective of the Voters Day. 2 days back, we have celebrated the National Voter Days every year on 25th January since 2011 to till date. We are celebrating the Voters Day. एक वोटर आपको यह राइट्स और ड्यूटीज के बारे में जानकारी देने के लिए इस प्रकार का एक वेबिनार आयोजित किया गया है। आज हमारे बीच में एक कीनोट स्पीकर के रूप में प्रोफेसर सत्य प्रकाश, जो फॉर्मर डीन हैं फैकल्टी ऑफ लॉ CSJM यूनिवर्सिटी के लिए, शेष जो डिटेल्स में जानकारी देने के लिए आप यहाँ उपस्थित हैं। बताया गया है बाद में एक कुछ क्वेश्चन आवर भी रखे गए हैं, तो आप उस जितने भी नॉलेज सर के दिए जाएंगे आप एक कॉपी पेपर लेकर के बैठे, जो कुछ भी सर बताएंगे उसको आप नोट करें और सर के नॉलेज से आप ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा बेनिफिट आप उठाएं। इसी के साथ मैं पुनः सभी का स्वागत करता हूँ, सभी का अभिनंदन करता हूँ, स्पेशली अवर कीनोट स्पीकर प्रोफेसर सत्य प्रकाश सर। थैंक यू मैडम, ओवर टू यू।
May I now call upon Dr. Satya Prakash sir. Sir, kindly take on the proceedings.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Vinay Kumar Pathak ji, might not come due to his busy schedule elsewhere. Professor Shashikant Tripathi ji, Professor Pankaj Dwivedi, all the faculty members of the School of Legal Studies, dear students from the School of Legal Studies, and other friends and students maybe from other universities or institutions who might be joining this webinar. The topic, as you know, is the right to vote in the context of Preamble of the Indian Constitution. There may be two aspects. First is about the right to vote, which Professor Pankaj Dwivedi ji has described elaborately just now. But today we have gathered to discuss the right to vote in the context of preamble of the Constitution of India, or with reference to the preamble of the Constitution of India. This right to vote might be in context with the whole Constitution, but that would have been a very wide topic. So Professor Dwivedi suggested that we can have it in context with the preamble to the Constitution of India only. As Professor Dwivedi described about the National Voters' Day, which was started in 2011, and this year it is the 12th National Voters' Day. The purpose of the Voters' Day every year is that we have to add in the role of voters every year the people who have attained the age of 18 on 1st of January. So every year there is a campaign for enrollment of new voters, and on 25th January, the electoral photo identity card of the voters are ceremoniously distributed to the new voters. And you would be surprised to know that at present there are 95 crore voters in India out of approximately 135 crore of population, means 70% of the total population has right to vote. And this year only 25 lakh new voters have been added to the roll of voters. So on every National Voters' Day, pledge is also being taken by the people of India. And for this year's National Voters' Day, the theme is electoral literacy for stronger democracy. Means it is not sufficient that we are having voters or the people of India or citizens of India are having right to vote, but along with that, we must have literacy related to the voting or electoral literacy to the voters for a stronger democracy. Only if we have a stronger democracy, then we will having a better and a stronger India. So from that angle, this year's theme has been selected, and the booth level officers at 8.5 lakh polling stations have worked for the entrance of or admission of the new voters in the voters list or voters roll. So this is about the preliminary aspect of Voters' Day. Now we come to the point that what is the relation between right to vote and the preamble to the Constitution of India. To explain that, we will have to have a very deep and concentrated study of the preamble of India. the preamble starts with the words, "We the people of India." We, comma, the people of India means we means the people of India. One more point is that these 5 words, "we the people of India," have been given in all capitals. From the angle of grammar or literature, there is importance of capital letters, small letters, comma, full stop, dash, everything has its own importance. So I want to insist and stress on the point that "we the people of India" has been used in all capitals. There are certain other words also which have been used in all capitals. That shows the importance of that particular word. In between, the words used are sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. These words are also given in capitals. And in the last para, inner constituent assembly, that is also in capital words. On this 26th day of November 1949, this is not in capital, this is in small letters. Then again, it is in capitals. Hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this constitution. Now, leaving apart the body of the preamble, if we can put together, "We the people of India hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this constitution," means that the people of India are the source of the constitution. Secondly, they enacted the constitution, also adopted the constitution, and they gave to themselves this constitution. It means they are not only the source of the constitution, but they have enacted it and they have adopted it, and therefore they are bound absolutely by the provisions of this constitution. They are not just escape from the responsibility of doing or acting or behaving as per the Constitution of India on the pretext that they have given the constitution. Now it is for the people to work according to that. We are not concerned with that. I am not of the opinion. In my view, they are having obligation, they are having duty to work and to behave as per the provisions of the Constitution. The second point is that the Constitution was adopted or enacted and given on 26th day of November 1949. I equate the people of 26th November 1949 with the today's people. All the people at the time of 26th November 1949, as well as the people now, all the 135 crore people, every individual, the word used is people, not citizen, means every individual, including a child of 1 second age to the person having the maximum age or the oldest person in the country. Person, not merely citizen. All the person, all the people, all the individuals are bound today itself, today also, for everything undertaken by the preamble of the Constitution. So I have no difference between the people at that time. The population was 35 crore. Now it is 135 crore. But I am of the opinion that day to day, every day, we are adopting, enacting, and giving to ourselves this Constitution. Therefore, we are duty bound to behave as per the Constitution. Now, the other words, having solemnly resolved, the people of India have resolved. What they have resolved? To have something in the country. The resolution is not merely a formal resolution. It is solemn resolution. It is a pious resolution. It is a resolution having sanction of natural law, having sanction of divine law, because it is solemnly. In affidavit, which is a very general document for law students, the deponent declares that, solemnly declares that I am so and so and so and so. That is on oath. In the Constitution also, in preamble itself, the people of India solemnly on oath resolved. It is not a simple resolution, but a resolution on oath, like the witness is being administered the oath of the deity or of the whatever you may call the God. So it is solemn resolution. What has been resolved? To constitute India. We were not at that time concerned what was India before the adoption of the Constitution. We are going to constitute India. And when I have equated the people of 1949 to the people of today, that is 27th of January 2022. Today also, we have to constitute. If we have failed to constitute India into a certain character, then today also, all the people of India have to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. I would not go much into the explanation of these words. Sovereign, in general sense, means the highest authority in the state. It is different from government or the organs of the state. It is besides legislature, executive, and judiciary. It is the sovereign, the highest authority of the state. It may be defined as the supreme authority of the state, which is not under the control of any internal power or under the control of any external power. Sovereign is supreme internally as well as externally. Whatever the sovereign does or limits its power or authority, that is with the consent of sovereign. That is not compulsive or compelled by someone else. Socialist is important. Socialism, socialist and secular, two words have been added, by the 42nd Amendment in 1976. So, otherwise also, we have socialistic pattern of society, but later on, taking in consideration that it should be mentioned specifically, the socialist and secular worlds have been added. In Bombay case, 1994, it has been declared by the Supreme Court that the Indian system was secular even before the insertion of the word secular in the preamble. So there was clear indication of socialist and secular India, but due to certain reason, we cannot go into those reasons at this time. These two words have been included. Socialist, secular, democratic republic. We adopted democracy, means the rule of people. Abraham Lincoln defined democracy as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. But present day, we are seeing that it has become government OF of in place of 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 OFF, government of the people, means where there are no people. By the people, in place of BY, by BUY, by the people. The government is buying the people. Whether they are buying their employment, they are buying their facilities, they are torturing their moral values or ethical values or economic values, and the government of the people, by the people, and for the world, FOR, for. The word replaced is FAR, for the people, far away from the people. The government has nothing to do with the people, with the interest of people. They are indulged in some vested interest only. So, and therefore the socialism has also going downwards and being replaced initially indirectly, and now it has become very directly visible by the capitalism. All the public sector and public sector enterprises have been privatized and going to be privatized. So these are not being followed by the rulers, and in a sense, not as representative of the people, they have become the ruler of the country. Now, they do not regard themselves as representative or servant of the people or servant of society or servant of constitution. They are going to become the rulers. So, the democracy has been preceded by the word socialist and secular. What does it mean? It means that democracy should also be socialistic and secular. We cannot develop with the mere technical democracy the right of the people to elect their representative or government. The democracy should be secular and socialistic. Only then we can have the Republic of India. Technically, Republic means that anybody can be the head of the state. In Britain, we have democracy with monarchy, not republican. So the head of the state is from royal family only, but the government is made on the basis of democracy. Now, the most important aspect is that and to secure to all its citizens. Now the word citizen has entered. Initially, with the starting lines, we have the people of India. Now, to secure, the people of India have resolved, solemnly resolved, with pious obligation, they have obligation to secure to all its citizens, the citizens of India, what to be secured? Justice. What type of justice? Social, economic, and political. Now comes the importance of the voting or the right of vote. The sequence of justice, social, economic, and political is very much intentional. The primary justice may be considered as political justice. Then comes, above political justice comes the economic justice, and ultimately all activities are to attain social justice. So from that angle, social justice is the most important. When the framers of the Constitution gave adult franchise or the right to vote to the people or citizens of India, they concluded that with the right to vote we have attained the political justice. But later on, the political justice has also been defaced in the sense that it is not based on the independent use of the right to vote. The voters' use of right to elect the government is being induced, impacted by various extraneous circumstances which should not have come into the right to vote. People are not voting on the basis of the merits or policies or declarations or manifestos, but they are voting on various, I should say, not only immoral or unethical, but on the basis of illegal grounds also. So, the political justice which we could have, we succeeded to have in the earlier years of independence of India. This political justice is also being degraded nowadays with the passage of time. The right to vote has become unfruitful, and it is not, in a sense, the opinion of the masses. The second is economic. Actually, the backwardness given in the Constitution under Article 15 or 16 is based on social and educational. But to an extent, the social and educational backwardness may be due to economic backwardness. Therefore, economic justice has been included. A person with economic betterment may not be having social justice. It is not necessary. A person with social injustice, with money, may be better than a person with social injustice without money. So, economic justice may be a factor to provide social justice, but it cannot take place or substitute the social justice. The most important is the social justice, that every person without his or her individuality must be having justice. What type of justice? It is both justice in abstract sense or justice from the angle of nature or natural law. That was adopted by the US Constitution from the very beginning in the form of due process of law. Means a law. In Article 21 we have right to life and personal liberty. No person shall be deprived of his right, deprived of his life or personal liberty, except according to procedure established by law. What does it mean? Established by law. Initially, in India, we means the Supreme Court of India interpreted the words procedure established by law, that the procedure provided by law given in the statutes or in the constitution. They interpreted the word justice as justice according to law, not justice according to nature, not justice according to natural principles which are applicable from the time immemorial in almost all the societies of the world, all the civilized societies, right from the beginning, whether it is Greek society or Roman society or Indian society, these principles have been applicable. So in the beginning, the Supreme Court said that we do not have the principles of due process of law. Means the law which can be justified from the angle of natural law or natural justice. They applied the justice according to law only. But now they have also understood it, and now the justice means the justice according to abstract justice or justice according to nature. So we have to attain justice, social, economic, and political. And social justice can be attained when we have the respect to the fellow citizens, inner mind, inner soul, inner thinking, and then comes the next thing to be secured, that is liberty. Liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. I always say that it is a very old saying that we must first think and then speak. The same has been undertaken in these words, liberty of thought. First, we should have thought. Then we should express it. And before having faith, we must have belief. We must believe in a particular thing. Only then we can have faith. And worship here is connected with the formal worship or right to religion. But from the angle of justice, I say that the First, we must have belief that we can upgrade, we can uplift, we can go with the people not having justice in India, and we will support them, and we are not doing anything or we are not obliging them. It is a duty because we have solemnly resolved to secure to all its citizens justice. And justice, how justice would be provided? Through liberty. And in liberty, we have to have belief. Most of the people who are or who may be responsibility or who can contribute in the social upliftment of the so-called downtrodden or backward classes or not better classes, they are not having belief. They are just performing in a formal way. They do not internally believe that it is to be done for them. Even the government machinery or our representatives are doing that just for some ulterior motive. As you have seen that there are elections in 5 states and UP, Punjab are the big states. So all the declarations for the people are being made by the ruling party and also by the others who are expecting to be the next rulers. So they are not giving employment, they are giving free food. So that is not a good way of tackling with the poverty. We must provide employment. It means we are not believing to uplift those people because we are making them beggars. We are, and it is out of the people's fund, from the state fund, and we are declaring that we are giving such and such to 80 crore peoples. We are giving free food, grains and all that. It means we, on record, we have 1/3 of the population below poverty line. Means about 40 crore of people are below poverty line. Below poverty line means that they are not having sufficient food. Means they are not having food for the day, or they are merely having food for once in a day. And the government is distributing food to 80 crore. It means they have doubled the number of below poverty line people. But they have all ulterior motives and they are not afraid of the why India has been has come to the lowest level of poverty internationally, because all these datas are analyzed by the authorities or statisticians. And when you are saying that we are giving food, free food, cereals, wheat, rice, dal and all that to 80 crore, it means 80 crores are below poverty line. They do not have sufficient means to feed themselves or their family. So we have ourselves declared that we are a country of poor people. More than 60% are poor. Out of 135, 80 crores are poor. So these, because why it is so? Because nobody in India is following the preamble of the Constitution because they say that was adopted in 1949 by then people of India. But my interpretation is that every day we are the adopter and enactors of the Constitution. The people of today are under the same responsibility and obligation as were the people of 1949, the members of Constituent Assembly, as well as all the people of India. So we will have justice only if, after believing to provide justice to the people who do not have nots, first we have to believe. Then we will have faith in our doings. We do not have faith in our doings. Even the good people, the people who want to fulfill their obligation, duties and all that, they do not have believe. They fail to believe that their good deeds would be having some impact on society. They are also being discouraged. They discourage themselves even because they fail to have belief, and unless there is belief, there cannot be faith. We in the ancient times, all the students have faith in the teacher or guru. There was relation of guru and disciple. But now even the students do not have faith in teacher. Teachers do not have faith in students. Teacher think that even if I am doing much for the students, they are not going to understand anything. They would do as per their own norms. They will not listen to me. They will go to Google. They will take everything from Google, from internet. They will not go through the books. There cannot be substitute of books. There cannot be substitute of teacher. There cannot be substitute of guru. There cannot be substitute of student. So we have to develop the liberty of thought. Unless we can think, we cannot do anything. And then we should have belief. Only then we can have faith. Nobody knows who is God, what is God, where is God, but it is only because of faith. So first we believe that there is God. Only then we can have faith. If I do not believe that there is God, if I believe that there is nature only, no God, I cannot have faith in the God. I will have faith in the nature, that there are rains like this month of January, that is unprecedented. During the last more than 50, 60 years, there have not been January like this, that for the last 26, 7 days, we have not seen the sun properly. So this is nature. But the person who have faith in, who believe God, will say that it is all being done by the God. The person who believe that it is due to nature, so he will be having faith in nature. It is due to science, then he will have faith in science, that due to certain geographical or climatic condition, it is being observed now. So the equality of status and opportunity. These are also responsible for providing justice and providing a better democracy. A better democracy, again, I repeat, which is socialistic secular democracy. And most importantly, fraternity, brotherhood. A very prominent legal philosopher, Leon Dugwit, in 1928, propounded the theory of social criteria as the validity of law. He propounded the theory of social solidarity, interdependence of men in society. We have interdependence. Every man in society is dependent on others. And this is a scale of measurement of development of society. The more we have interdependence, the more developed would be the society. Though it looks awkward that if we are independent, if I can do everything of mine, every work, then it must be developed. No, it is not, because it is a sign of primitive society. In primitive society, the man has to do everything on his own. He has to search for his food, shelter, clothing, and everything. And with the passage of time, with the development of society, with the development of civilization, we have interdependence. Now, for everything, I need some other person. For driving my vehicle, for making food, for making clothes, for making shelter. So, interdependence and social solidarity means brotherhood. And he also said that he criticized the traditional concept of sovereignty, state and law, and he said that state is not the primary organization which contributes to the development of people. The first and foremost organization is family. The second comes the educational institutions, and only then comes the state. So we should not be dependent on a state. The state is to be made by the people, not the people to be made by the state. The people are to be made by the family and by the educational institution. We had Gurukul in the ancient times. Again, in present time, I appreciate residential institutions, universities or educational institutions. They are like Gurukuls of ancient days of India, or in Greece or Rome and Britain also. That would be helpful in creating social justice. How? Because all the students and all the teachers from different ways of life would be living together, and that would decrease the disparity. All will be using the same clothing, same shelter, same fooding. So there would be more harmony and more similarity, and with the passage of time, there would be ultimately, they will be believing in all of them collectively, and then everyone will be attaining social justice. So fraternity is very important. So now generally it is called right to vote. But from my angle, it is duty to vote. But why the Supreme Court could not declare it as duty? Because the main difference between rights and duties is the option. In right, the person has option to do or not to do something. In duty, the person is compelled, or he or she does not have option to do or not to do. Like for a simple example, in bailment, we have duty to, the bailee has duty to take care of the goods bailed as reasonable care, and along with that, he has a duty not to mix. So both rights and duties may involve doing of a thing or non-doing of a thing. So we are under duty to have reasonable care, and we are under duty not to be careless. In the same sense, we may have right, but in right, we have option to exercise our right or not to exercise. But from the angle of preamble of the Constitution of India, I can say that it should be taken as a matter of duty, because the people of India have solemnly resolved, and still today also we are resolving it. We are promising the society to have a better system, have a system. We have nothing to decide about better or worst system. We have to have the system established by the Constitution of India. But under preamble, because preamble shows the source of the Constitution, and source of Constitution is the people of India. So we are under an obligation to constitute India in a manner which is given in the preamble, and from that angle, I treat it the duty of every people, not merely citizens. The right to vote is to citizen. So citizen is a limited group. So every person of India, all the people have duty to make betterment of the Indian society, and this duty is more for the citizens of India, because they have certain rights also to constitute India into a specific manner. So I think this is sufficient for today's program, and we know from the technical point of view that now preamble is considered to be the part of Constitution. Initially, in Berubari case in 1960, it was declared that preamble is not part of the Constitution. But later on, in Keshwanand Bharti, as well as in Indira Nehru Gandhi and other cases, it has been clearly decided by the Supreme Court that preamble is the part of the Constitution, and it is to be implemented and protected as other provisions of the Constitution. With these words, I thank the organizer, especially Professor Pankaj Dwivedi ji, who contacted me, and he is known to me for the last several years, more than 10 years, and he has been very active when he was in Meerut University colleges also, and in Greater Noida. So thank you very much, and all the best for everything in life. Thank you. If there is any query, I am available for that.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your thoughts. This was a wonderful lecture. In constitutional perspective, we have got new insight on right to vote. This would be definitely this would be beneficial for our participants. Dear participants, if you have any query, you may ask or you may write down in the chat box.
Smita
Sir,
ma'am, we have
yes,
some
sir.
queries in the chat box. I think you may read them.
Yes, yes. Okay, ma'am. Sir, there is one question that in nota option, is nota option have any impact on the election results? Do you
Ah,
agree that it is a need for vibrant democracy to consider the nota votes?
देखिए, I have just tried to establish that we just do not have right to vote, but as people of India and specifically as citizen of India, we have duty to vote. And to me, vota is not a good alternative because we cannot escape from our duty. We have duty to select. It is different that you have to select among the specified. But why? Why good people are not coming forward in election or in the process of democracy? Because you have shown escapism. You have not been interested in the working of the proper democracy. You are taking it lightly. So I am not convinced with the use of nota, and it cannot be alternative to any positive working of democracy. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we have another query that is when the people are not choosing their representative, they are merely voting for the people who are selected by the parties. In such scenario, how can we say that all the power lies in the hand of people in the form of voting rights?
Because in parliamentary democracy, there may be different types of democracy. In parliamentary democracy, there is importance of party system. Without party system, there cannot be a proper governance of the state or proper governance of the society. So parties are essential for running a better democracy. Otherwise, if you have elected 425 legislators like in UP or 545 members of lower house in Union Parliament, and they are all independent, then what would be the result? They would be manipulating their own interests. They would be collectively running government as per their own whims, their own interest. The party system is essential for parliamentary democracy, and we can give our opinion because the main problem is that the people, the people of India are not interested in the betterment of India and betterment of Indian society. They are not taking it very seriously. Ultimate sovereign are the citizens of India. I did not go into the details of sovereignty. There may be legal sovereign, actual sovereign, and ultimate sovereign. Legal sovereign is the Constitution of India because we have to, even the sovereign, the supreme authority in the state is to work as per the Constitution of the state. Actual sovereign is the government, parliament, legislature, executive, as well as judiciary as protector of the constitution. And ultimate sovereign are the people. And when they get chance after 5 years, they do not use that chance in proper sense. Nota is not the alternative. Unless nota becomes more than 50% of the polling. If more than 50% of the people use nota, then the election commission would be compelled to do something for proper organization and proper working of the democracy. So party system is essential. Without party system, there would be no system of ruling or working as guardian of the society. Next.
Thank you, sir. We have one more query that a participant has requested to put some light on the options needed today to foster the purity of electoral process.
The people have to act. I'm not using the word react. We are not even reacting. What to say of acting? Acting is positive, reaction is negative. In a sense, maybe positive because you are reacting to certain activity. But why don't you act? Now, there is social media. In the 20 years back, there was no means to put your opinion or your aspect of your opinion to the people. Now we have several communication systems. So we have to make an atmosphere like this Arvind Kejriwal has been successful to create an atmosphere of a clean government. Might be he has also been, nowadays he is also indulged in advertising and all that because it is compulsion. Why? The people are giving credit to the advertisement. Why they are not opposing this advertising policy of all the parties? So, because we are not acting, rather we are not even reacting. Acting is very positive and needs much more efforts. We are not even reacting. If there is something, we are not saying anything. We are just forwarding the messages in which we are otherwise interested, having some vested interest, some ulterior interest. We are not acting as people of India. We are acting as individual. We are not acting collectively as collectively responsible people of India. We are, the teacher is teaching as individual that I have finished my job. I have delivered lecture for 45 or 60 minutes. Now my job is over. The teacher is not interested whether the students are getting something or not. The students have fulfilled the formality of attendance in prime institution. In generally in India nowadays, especially in UP, there is no importance of attendance. Only 20-30% students are attending the classes. Even on online classes are not being attended. So nobody interested. So we have lost interest because we are running our life and we have put our lives in the hands of others. And we are satisfied with the minimum facilities, and we are not interested in the interest of others. If we have attained something, if I have got admission, I am not concerned that next year there was no proper process of admission. I am not concerned because I have been admitted. So it is for the people to act as people of India. Next.
Sir, one student of our final year having some query, he wants to ask it directly from you. Amit, you can unmute yourself and directly you can communicate it to sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Whether I'm clear to hear?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
very much.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So nice of such a nice webinar organized by our department and the valuable comments you have given. Sir, today the topic was right to vote. Sir, I just want to add a thing. Being a legal professional, whether we are request the judiciary to have this thing not as right but as a duty to vote first, because we are what we are getting in government as well as private sector, we got leave for that. The nota has been introduced just to count the percentage of number of participants for that. So why not is this being forced for the persons to vote because of just the sake to maintain the democracy? Why not is just being treated as duty of everybody to be there? Why not it been forced? Because each and every time when the elections are on, the maximum expenditure has been going on, the regular intervals, the section wise, the categories has been defined. Each and every time the amendments are going taking place. We are uh, right now at this year we added 25 lakhs of new voters. That means we are doing our level best. Then why not making such festival in a way that the responsibilities must be not as a right but as a duty? How we can put our thing to the judiciary to make the judiciary or the honorable court to have such thing to be forced upon the government and the citizen, because what the preamble says that we the people, that means for every individual, that why not it's being given or treated as duty, the compulsory duty for each and everybody.
This, this I have discussed, and you have also given the answer of your query, that we the people means
So
I told you that for duties are compulsory doing or not doing. We cannot, no authority can impose duty unless there are reciprocal rights or corroboratory rights, because unless and until the Supreme Court is able to provide all the rights
so
to the people of India, they cannot impose certain duties. For example, the right to life has been extended by the Supreme Court. Like I said in the very beginning, that due process of law was not adopted by the Supreme Court in early days of working. Later on, they adopted the doctrine of due process. They did not adopt the doctrine of stare decisions. In England, because the judiciary is very strong, they adopted the doctrine of stare decisions. But later on in 1966, in July 1966, they also had to reject or disown the doctrine of state diseases. State diseases means the highest court is bound by its own previous decision, because Britain is a traditional society. They thought that once if we have decided something, it should have permanency and stability shall be maintained then only. But later on, they came to the conclusion that the society is developing and marching very fast, so we have to reject this doctrine also. In India, because we are a developing society, therefore, from the very beginning, we rejected the doctrine of state diseases, but at the same time did not accept the due process of law, because due process of law imposes certain responsibility on the governors. Because if we decide or interpret justice according to natural law, then it is very wider. So in the beginning, the Supreme Court did not accept it because there were no means to implement the justice according to natural law. It was sufficient if we could have implemented justice according to law in the new society, newly independent society.
Yes, sir.
The Supreme Court in 1993 in Unni Krishnan case said that for better development of human beings, right to education must be treated as the right to life.
Right to life.
But when we implement a particular right along with duty, it takes lots of resources to be generated. Like, for example, right to education.
So,
Right to education was included by the Sixth Amendment in 2002 in the Constitution. But when it was implemented in 2010, after 8 years, because that needed much of the sources, the creation of new schools, the enhancement or increase of seats and facilities, including teachers, furniture, and building in the existing schools. So it took 8 years to implement that particular duty on the parents and on the state. Now it is the right of the people. It means it is duty of the state. So it is what I wanted to explain is that we as the people have to make ourselves dutiful. We need not to look to the Supreme Court or the state or to the representatives or anybody. My stress on the words we the people is that we have to create India. We have to develop India.
definitely, sir.
And we are just escaping from that responsibility. We are not fulfilling our basic duties, self-imposed duties. We have to impose the duties ourselves. When we undertake certain duties, then we perform them in a proper manner. When the duties are being imposed, then we do not follow them properly, like the traffic rules. Whatever may be the intensity of the fines and all that, people are not following rules. But where people are conscious of that, they are conscious of the point that it is dangerous for us to break traffic rules. If we are going wrong side, it is dangerous for us also. So they are following. So it is the reason being that we have no awareness. When we do not have proper literacy, only about 50% people are literate. And what to speak of awareness, I don't think that more than 5% people are aware of the things, whether it is social things, economic things, cultural things, family matters, what we speak of state or constitutional or governmental matters. People have no awareness. Awareness will develop with the education, not with the paper education, but with the real education. And we are lacking in real education. We are just fulfilling the formality. We are just following the rules of finishing the syllabus, of taking the examination during the last 2 years. I have seen in our university and other universities, on the basis of one exam, the student have been promoted and still there is no clarity of results, no clarity of the average marking and all that. So we are lacking in owing our responsibility, in recognizing our responsibility, and what to speak of fulfilling our responsibility, unless we ourselves impose certain obligation, certain duty on us, we cannot fulfill them properly.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So nice of you.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Ms. Priya Avasthi to propose the vote of thanks. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm really thankful to Professor Satyaprakash sir to accept our invitation and agree to be our guest for today and enlightening our students on such a relevant issue in most simpler terms. Thank you so much, sir. Our students have surely been benefited by this lecture, that I can assure you, sir. Next, I would like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, Vice Chancellor Sir, with whose constant support we are able to organize such events timely. Lastly, I would like to thank our Director Sir, Dr. Shashikant Tripathi, Dr. Pankaj Dwivedi Sir, and all our faculty members and technical support staff for their fruitful endeavors to make today's event a success. Last but not the least, I would like to thank our students who patiently joined us with a spirit to learn, which is most important. And sir, there were many more queries, but due to the lack of time, we couldn't put it up all to you. But sir, I will request that we can mail it those queries to you, and you can answer them to our students later on.
Okay, okay,
And
okay.
students,
Always
thank
welcome. You can send me through emails and I will answer every
Thank you
query.
so much, sir. Thank you
Oh,
so much, sir. And
okay,
students, thank you
okay.
for being so much patient. A little bit up timing is happens during such time when we have such an illusionary among us. Thank you once again. And sir, we would request to visit us more frequently and join us in such sessions. And sir, our tea is also due for you. And sir,
Okay.
you are most
I'm
welcome whenever this things will normalize and will start everything in physical mode again, sir.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
certainly. I'm always available for online as well as offline. I
Thank you so much, sir.
actually I prefer offline, but when the situation is normal, then I would enjoy to be with you offline also.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much and all the best for organizing. And first, I should congratulate you for organizing such a wonderful session. And
Thank you.
attendance was good. Many student faculty members attended the session. It is good for the academic, from the angle of academics, that people are interested in such type of activities. And all the best for future academic activities and pursuit. All the
Thank you.
best.
Sir. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.